Okay, here we go. Hey, how you doing today? It's Walt the Motivator on this very icy winter's day. I mean, until we've had an ice storm and they had to close down schools, they've had to close down businesses. Our business was work from home whenever the schools are closed down. So I had to work from home today, but I'm glad it's over with now. And I'm glad that I am able to meet with you to talk to you about our YouTube journey. Welcome. Okay. Have you ever ran across somebody who was always negative? You know what I'm saying? Everything they said out of their mouth was something negative. Have you ever run across that kind of person? Or have you seen somebody who would never congratulate somebody when they did something well? I think I spoke about that on another video. I'll put it on a playlist later on and kind of link it up with this one, because what I wanted to ask you about today was, how do you persevere through adversity? When somebody tells you that something is not allowed or not permitted, I wonder how you persevere through it, how you get through it. Because it seems to me that everybody's got some kind of opinion about what that person or this person should do, but they never really direct their gaze or their focus on themselves. Today, I would ask that you ask yourself, what are you doing? It's a little chilly out here, but we're going to get through this. When someone discourages you intentionally, when someone tries to troll you in real life, how do you deal with that issue? I know there's multiple ways of talking to somebody, but many people seem content to hide behind their computers and hide behind their phones and say things about you that they would never dare speak in person. But there are those who will talk to you and will say something bad or negative to you. How do you handle that? Do you get instantly defensive? Or do you kind of take that into consideration and think about it and say, and give it some feedback? Just wondering how you handle those things. All right. There is no shortage of people who want to tell you not to get on YouTube. I mean, I'm looking at those titles sometimes, and some people say that creators are lying to you when they say that YouTube is an easy mode. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm telling you, I'm enjoying posting right now. I know that some of you have decided that you wanted to post too, that you wanted to get a YouTube channel and start putting up your content. I urge and encourage you to do this, because it is both, I believe, therapeutic. It is also encouraging to others. It also has the ability to reach into the future and touch somebody else. You can leave a legacy behind for those who come after you. If you've got children or grandchildren, and if you just go ahead and speak about your life, speak about what you go through from day to day, and see how that will help somebody else. You may not even be alive to see it happen, but I guarantee you, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, they'll be glad to have something to remember you by, a visual reference of what your life was like. So I encourage you to talk about your life. If you have children, talk about your life. You never know what will happen from one day to the next. But if you leave a legacy, if you leave something behind for somebody else to see and for somebody else to hear, then you're doing a lot. I'm going to tell you a story about myself, and I know that you remember me saying that I was in prison for 28 and a half years, almost 30 years. When I came back home to my parents, who, by the way, are loving and giving parents, they're the best parents in the world to me, and I thank God that they're still alive right now. I am so thankful and grateful for that. But I remember upon walking into their home for the very first time after I was paroled, I felt as if I was stepping into my grandparents' home. So my parents, for all those years, had turned into my grandparents. Do you know what I mean? I know we all age, but in my mind, when I went in, they were one way. And they visited me. They came up and saw me and everything, did the whole thing to come in, got shook down and patted down to come in and see their son. Oh, man, I'm so grateful for that because it helped carry me along. But as I stood in that house and I observed their ways, I remember feeling that my parents were now my grandparents. Do you understand? All that time had passed, and I wasn't there to see them progress and to see them age. They weren't there to see me either. That was my fault. So, what a legacy. I mean, I would give anything to have those 28 years encapsulated by video or by them talking about what they do from day to day. I would love it. But I'm so blessed that they're here right now. Just think if they weren't, then I wouldn't have anything. Think about your life. Think about your children. Think about the people that are around you who need to hear your knowledge and hear your wisdom and hear your experiences. You've got so much to offer, a legacy. That legacy, I'm talking about something that transcends generations. Do you know what I mean? Something that goes beyond time and reaches into the future and reaches into the past at the same time. You leave that legacy with your people, your sons, your daughters, if you start posting. Forget those people who tell you don't post. Start now. This is your life. What's in your heart? Start today. Oh my goodness. Some of you have already started, but you haven't posted. Some of you have already made videos and they're waiting to be uploaded or waiting to be dispersed into the YouTube universe. And you've got those videos sitting there in the chamber. In the vault, just waiting to be released. Push that upload button. Upload that. Why make so many videos? Why even make that one video and it's just sitting there? Come on. This is you. This is me. This is us. This is your family. Talk to them. Just talk to them like talk to the camera like you're talking to your family. Talk to the camera like you're talking to your son. Like you're talking to your daughter or your aunt or your uncle. Talk to them so that they will have these words in their hearts, that they will have these words that they can go back to and listen to. Oh man, if YouTube was, just think, if YouTube had been invented so many years ago, maybe, I don't know, maybe civilization would have progressed a lot further because there's so many things I have learned myself from YouTube. There are so many things that I've been educated on because of YouTube. Don't let anybody trick you out of your blessing. Don't let anybody talk you out of your birthright. Don't let anybody talk you out of what should be yours. It's here right now. I'm uploading these videos. I don't know who's going to see them. I don't know who's going to see them. But I'm doing it because it works for me. It helps me to get things off my chest. It helps me to be able to share what knowledge I have. It helps me to be able to give to you some wisdom or to help you with things you may have thought that you would never encounter. I thank you for listening. I'm so glad that you're here. But I want to encourage you to become more than that listener. I want to encourage you to become more than that watcher. I want to encourage you to rise up to the greatness that's within you, that's calling you out, that's kind of pulling at your heartstrings, that those experiences that you have. You know, I encourage you to do that. You know, this ice storm makes me remember an incident that happened while I was 2 weeks away from being released in prison. 2 weeks. For some reason, I was put in a unit in a pole barn where all these young kids had nothing to lose. They didn't care about anything. They were going to do their time and they didn't care about nothing. So they would be throwing batteries, they'd be throwing cups, they'd be throwing bars of soap at the staff people. And then I remember one day they threw batteries at the counselor. And she was the person that was, kind of running the unit, the supervisor. And evidently something that she did got them upset. Now, I'm not saying she can make anybody upset, but that's how they received it. I mean, they were upset by something that she did or said. And so I remember that Super Bowl Sunday was coming up and they took the television room, they shut it down. She shut it down because of the misbehavior in the pole barn. So she shut the TV room down on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm telling you, in a prison, I think you might be asking for trouble when you do something like that. But she shut it down, and I'm telling you, the batteries and bars of soaps and cups and everything that flew at her were like projectiles aimed at her from an army of angry people. I didn't throw anything. I got 2 weeks to go home. From 28 years, 28 and a half years, I'm 2 weeks away from being released. So the guards said, okay, they didn't cave in, but they had something planned. That night, around midnight, all of the alarms went off, all of the lights came on, and they hustled us, rustled us. They corralled us into the big yard. And I'm telling you, that night, there was freezing rain. I mean, freezing rain. Rain was coming down. I fortunately got a pair of pants on and a shirt and a jacket. Other people didn't have a chance. I had a hat too. I put that on. I put one of those state caps on for what it was worth. But other people didn't even have a chance to get that. Now, these kids, I'm here with all these young people who don't want to go home, but I want to go home. They were standing there in the freezing rain with me and every other prisoner that was there in that unit. And the rain was freezing. I'm telling you, it wasn't just the cold rain. No, it was freezing rain. It froze to my cap. It froze to my beard. It froze to all of my coat. And there are some people out there in slippers. I'll tell you, they were out there in slippers. Not me. One of the things I learned throughout my time is don't be vulnerable at any moment. Always have your shoes right by your bunk, and don't go anywhere in flip-flops and slippers and all that stuff. If you're going to make a move, you make a move kind of strapped up, just ready, just in case. So I had my shoes, I had my state boots, I had my state clothes and my jacket and my hat. So I fared a little better than a lot of the others whose hair was just freezing, who were just standing out there. Now, I don't know the tactics of the Department of Corrections, if that was right or wrong. I don't have the rule book. But listen, as I stood there, I remember thinking, and at first I got mad. And the voice came to me, what are you mad at? And I thought to myself, first I was mad at the staff, the guards, and that counselor. But then I was mad at the people that were acting up all crazy. But finally, I came to my senses in that cold, freezing rain that I really didn't have anybody to be mad at but myself. I put myself in prison. I am the one who put myself there. So if I was to be angry or mad at somebody, then I should be mad at myself for putting myself in that situation to where people can treat me that way. How are people treating you? What are they saying to you? What are they doing to you? Is it because you have put yourself in that position to be talked to that way? I mean, I'm not saying it's right that people talk to people badly. I'm not saying it's right for people to be treating people badly, but what part did I play in putting myself in that situation? And sometimes we have to ask ourselves that very question. So I want to turn it around, and I want you to be the person that doesn't have to be mad at anybody, because you're going to take control and place yourself not in a prison, but in a place of freedom. The freedom to express yourself and say what you need to say on this camera. Well, it's not a camera. Mine is a phone, but there's a camera on my phone. But place yourself in the position to be able to help somebody, to encourage somebody, to uplift somebody, to improve quality of life. Are you going to be in that position? Is that going to be you? Is that going to be you? Can it be you? Of course it can. You can be the one who helps people. You can be the one who lifts people up. You can be the one that encourages people to live a better quality of life. And I want to tell you right now, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to wander. It is today. Do it today. Push that button on that phone. Push that button on that phone. Push that record button on that camera. Let's get going. Let's get going. This is it, people. This is the time. Now is the time for you to open your mouth. Don't sit silently on the sidelines. You've got a lot to say. You've got a lot to say, a lot of living that has been done in your life, and you can help somebody. Come on, come on. I'm Walt the Motivator, and I am here to encourage you to be the best you that you can be. Nobody determines the future for you but you. But you. And you. Yes, I'm talking to you sitting on the side of the bed. I'm talking to you sitting in your car. I'm talking to you sitting on your porch just watching and scrolling through. I'm talking to you because this is speaking to you right now, to your heart, to what you know you should be doing. So let's stop just being that listener. Let's stop just being that spectator. It's okay to be a cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader for people too, but I'm also in the game. I'm getting in the game. So it's time for you to get in the game. Call a play. Be a playmaker. This is you. That's all right. So again, I'm Walt the Motivator, encouraging you to be the best you that you can be. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.